Concern has been raised over South African students seeking to leave the country after graduating for better opportunities abroad. This is revealed in a report by PPS reflecting that worry over the economic climate, high unemployment and the rising cost of living as main contributing factors here. PPS Head of Technical Marketing, Motshabi Nomvethe, speaks to us now about these findings. Thank you so much for your time, Motshabi. First, let's outline the highlights of that PPS Student Confidence Index. Where are South African students sitting at a level of confidence within the country's economic landscape?
Thanks.
Hi, Motshabi. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you now.
My question is about talking over the highlights of this particular index. Where is the confidence level of students sitting with regards to the current economic climate?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Just maybe a bit of context before I answer your question is, us as PPS, we are a financial services company, and we do research on students on an annual basis. And that's because that is our target market. We do target students who have at least an honors level qualification or above. So that would be your typical occupations like doctors, pharmacists, people in marketing and communications, and a whole lot of other people. So we always want to see where our students at, because these are our current clients and also future clients. So one of the interesting things is what has come out of this one, and this has increased quite a lot, is that 90% of our students actually want to go live and work overseas. And their main reason for that is because they're looking for job opportunities. While, because a lot of them are concerned, like I said, because they're in their postgrad or fourth year of study, they are thinking of what's going to be my career opportunities when I'm done studying. And obviously with what's happening currently and the current economic environment, a lot of them are really concerned and they are looking to work overseas. The good news though is they're saying they want to do it primarily for experience, but they are also willing to come back. So I think that we need to balance that out. People tend to worry when we see a lot of people immigrating or, leaving South Africa, but our students have shown a desire to come back home and to use those skills that they have learned back at home, obviously when our economy can absorb them into the economy. One of the other good things that has come out of that, which is also very encouraging, is that over 75% of them are now looking at entrepreneurship. That we have to really pause and, it's big, because a few years ago when we started with this research in 2015, entrepreneurship was not even something that our students looked for. They were, I'm going to university and someone is going to hire me. Now they are starting with, maybe I need to look at other ways of earning an income and not rely on somebody else hiring me. So that's a good shift that we are seeing. And obviously what needs to happen now is that obviously us as corporates, universities and government, we need to help them to make entrepreneurship work. We need to clear the red tape. We need to help them with mentoring, whatever it takes to help them set up, because this thing of I'm going to sit until somebody employs me, it's not working, and we need to have more and more entrepreneurs. So that's one other good thing that they are doing. And then also what is worrying though is that just over half of our students are very concerned that they are not going to get employment quickly enough when they finish their studies. And that is a valid concern, which they do have. We see, like I said, just over half of them. And that's something that really we need to look at to say, what is the point of somebody going to school if, they feel that they're not going to be able to find employment? That's something that we, like I say, we all need to sit down and figure out how we're going to solve for that problem. But like I said, there's many things and across all spheres that need to come together to bring this up.
Motshabi, it's a mixed bag of findings, both on the good and at the other side of the spectrum is quite negative in terms of a viewpoint where South African students are. The issue around funding for further education, how much of that has become a concern among young people in this country, especially when we look at the barriers of entry that already exist before you even get to a space where you are thinking of reapplying for an honors degree or even going as far as PhD level? You need to think about, undergrad, and the funds just simply may not be there.
Yeah, well, that is one of the big ones. What we know with the students that we did survey, about 77% of them rely on scholarships and bursaries. So that in itself is quite telling. That's the volume of demand. Obviously, NF size also falls into this category. So yes, we do need to look at funding. But I think also when it comes to funding, we really need to look at, because a lot of students, there are unemployed graduates, there are a lot of students who completed their studies and they are sitting home. We need to ask ourselves, why is that the case? And when we look at funding, we really need to look at funding where the biggest gap is in the economy, because I'm sure with funders as well, you don't want to pour money and then you're not going to get the result. Yes, they might have their qualification, they might have their certificate, but we want to plow that back into the economy. So yes, funding, and like we said, a lot of them actually, they funded by other means. Having said that, other students, because of this funding challenge that we do have, they are looking at current side hustles even as they go through university, and they use that money to help them with whatever other expenses they might face at university. So it's on the one side, it's good that it speaks to the entrepreneurship leg I spoke about. On the other side, it really just does show how strained the economy is and how strained, it can be or how strenuous it can be for students when they want to. Some of them have indicated they want to further their studies, but they're not able to because of this funding issue. So that's something we need to get back into. And also, having said that, especially with our students from previously disadvantaged communities, though the desire is there to further their studies, there is also the urgency to find employment so that they can plow back into their families, probably help a younger sibling go to school, etc. So they're constantly finding themselves having to balance, do I look for a job, do I further my studies? They have indicated that they want to further their studies, but then a lot of that they would be dependent on, they want to first get a job, and that the employer will help them. Well, one, they'll earn an income that they can pay for their own fees, or better still, that the employer does have some sort of study scheme going, because they want to be specialized. They don't want to just end at your undergrad degree.
Lastly, Motshabi, let's go back to that 67% of professionals that would go abroad for better opportunities but return to South Africa, having improved on their skill set. Since doing the study from 2015 and we are now in 2023, has there been that cycle that sees individuals returning to South Africa to plow back, so to speak?
Unfortunately, I don't have those stats. I know a few years ago there used to be some company that was called the Homecoming Revolution, but I actually don't have the stats as to how are we winning that fight of getting our people back. But like I say, what we know for sure, what will make them come back home is knowing that they will be employable, knowing that they will actually have a job, because you're not going to leave something to come back here if you are not sure. So as I said, it's probably more a longer term play that we need to fix the economy, invest all of that, then that will give them the confidence to want to come back home. Why I stress that in the beginning is they're not leaving out of, I'm quitting South Africa, I'm never coming back, things are never going to work. And that gives me hope. But I can also understand they need to utilize what they have studied. And if the opportunity is going to be outside of these borders, then that's what they're going to take. And hopefully in time, we as South Africa will give them a reason to come back home and share those experiences with us.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Motshabi Nomvethe is with PPS talking to us on the AM report on the business desk there about the Student Confidence Index.